Today's story will leave you speechless, but not in a good way, to be honest. You will start doubting your closest acquaintances' intentions, and perhaps you will start having more trust issues because what you are about to know is mind-blowing, but this video's main goal is to raise your awareness and to remind you of some safety precautions that you need to take into consideration. Today's story is about probation officer goes looking for offender, finds something so much worse in the shed. But before we start, be sure to subscribe to Did You Know and hit the bell so you never miss an upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. The element of surprise always plays a big role in revealing some hidden secrets and truths. Pitt County Probation Officer Jonathan Thomas from North Carolina usually went to one of his offenders' house who was under his supervision to check in on him. According to ABC 12, it was one Sunday afternoon when Officer Thomas went there to his offender's house and knocked on the door, but no one answered. So he casually went around the house's yard to see if someone was there. But all he saw was just a child playing there, and then he glimpsed an open door which led to a shed. Then he decided to take a look in there, and he did not mention the reason behind that, but I think it was a natural reaction. When he got inside the shed, he froze in his place because of what he saw in front of him. He did not find the man that he wanted to talk to, but the surprise which was awaiting him was bitter and heartbreaking. He saw Martin Vasquez, the offender's father, who was 47 years old, raping a young girl in the shed. It is a crisis and a very disgusting crime. The man was raping a 6-year-old girl. How brutal and horrible. Words fail to describe that criminal. Sheriff Neil Elk protested that it was the worst thing anyone could see in front of their eyes, a poor innocent young child getting raped and getting physically abused. Thomas said that all he could think of at the moment was to save the girl and get that man away from her. Thomas's emotions as a parent were complicated, and it tore his heart apart to see this awful crime. His main concern was to take that man away from the girl. What is more disturbing is the fact that many children actually love playing in that man's backyard, and the reason is quite shocking and sordid. Martin Vasquez has a big sand pit in his backyard, which he uses to lure the children to play in his yard so that he can get to choose which one he wanted to take advantage of. One cannot really stand just the thought of it. Of course, this has become horrifying news to his neighbors who thought about how many times he victimized children and how many poor children fell into his trap. For example, Tanya Abel, his neighbor, was sobbing while describing how scared she was from that incident because her children and niece loved playing outside. Sheriff Neil Elk found it extremely important to investigate the place carefully because there might be a possibility to find another child in there. Moreover, Elk wanted the concerned neighbors to talk with their children and try to understand them because perhaps that immoral man took advantage of any of them and victimized. He told them that their children might have been scared to speak up. Any child that goes through something similar must be suffering from a trauma and needs to receive some therapy and medical treatment. WITN declared that the North Carolina Department of Public Safety charged Martin Vasquez, who was never registered as a sex offender before or had any previous victims, with raping a child. When he was arrested, he was hung on a $1 million bond at the Pitt County Detention Center, but Sheriff Elk said that there would be more charges. Officer Thomas stressed that Vasquez's son had nothing to do with that crime at all and did not know about his father's intentions. Such incident makes us all question all of our acquaintances, especially our neighbors. This story is heartbreaking and terrible to even think about it, but the fact that it has happened makes us all concerned and worried about our children and who might be preying on them. God bless all of our kids and keep them forever safe. Do not fully trust people with your kids. Always keep an eye on them and know where they play, even if you live in a safe neighborhood. We cannot really know other people's intentions, so we would better just watch out for our kids. We will be waiting for your comments about that story, and what do you think that man's sentence should be?